Bulls are hot. They've won 5 of their last 7 games, including a victory in Miami on Thursday. And that is where Stacey and I are coming from, the beautiful Four Seasons Hotel in Miami, as the Bulls get ready for round 2 against the Miami Heat tomorrow night. I'll be filling in on the play-by-play for Adam Amin, who's off to call his NFL game on Sunday. Stacey, the game last night was pretty remarkable. Hey, before we get to that, we should say hello to Tim. Tim is holding down the fort in Palatine by himself. How you doing today, Tim?
Alone, all by myself.
You started drinking early today.
Oh, yeah. I'm like Donkey now. And that show, I had to start drinking at noon just to handle this.
How dry I am.
Yeah.
Dry I am.
Oh, nobody knows how dry I am.
Left me all alone, guys. Thank you.
Hey, you keep wearing that shirt. You keep wearing that shirt, you might be by yourself a lot of times.
Oh, it's always about the shirts. And there you guys are.
You get those kegs replaced?
No. We've gone full whiskey and just straight up tequila. That's where we're at now.
Oh my God.
It is a Friday night, so the weekend has started, and Tim always starts early. So good for you.
That's right. I start on Thursday evenings.
Good for you. Hey, Stace, the game last night, 33-8 to start. You couldn't ask for a more perfect beginning. Alex Caruso hit a couple of threes. Then, unfortunately, his teammate, Nikola Vucevic, stepped on his ankle, and he re-aggravated that left ankle injury. The team played almost flawlessly in that first quarter. What did you like best about what you saw last night?
Well, they came out aggressive, great ball movement, player movement, cutting to the ball. They came out and punched Miami in the mouth. And I think Miami, they had played the night before against Charlotte. So, but this is the NBA. No one's going to make excuses. They might have looked a little tired at the beginning, but they're a team that can work they can cut in the leads. So I knew, even though the Bulls had a big lead, that there was a possibility Miami might come back with their defense and hit some shots, which they did. They made a game out of it at the very end.
Coby White continued his amazing play. He's just been remarkable over the last dozen games or so, shooting at about 50% on his three-pointers and over 50% from the field. Plus, his assist total's going on. You and Adam pointed out in the broadcast yesterday, he was closing in a triple-double. He also had 7 rebounds. I mean, this kid's ascension has been remarkable to watch, and you kind of forecasted that back in the summer.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Mark. I don't like to toot my own horn, beep. But all the people who are asking to trade Coby White, I said that if he's given the opportunity, given minutes, you would see production. And now you're seeing that. And he probably, somebody asked me the other day, is the way he's playing, do you see him making the All-Star team? No, I don't, because I think depending on the Bulls' record, with the Bulls' record being the way it was, I think that kind of hurt him a little bit. But I do see him, if he continues to play the way he's playing, Mark, most improved player. He's doing an excellent job. Without Zach Lavine being there, now he knows where his shots are going to be. He knows he's the guy. He knows he's with DeMar. He knows where he's going to get his shots. He knows where that he can be aggressive. He can miss 2 or 3 shots in a row, and he's not going to get pulled out of the game. So his confidence is really, really super high right now. And to be honest with you, he's been the Bulls' best player over the last month, 2 months.
Last night, watching Ayo Dosunmu play was really a treat. He was super aggressive, taking the ball to the basket, really pushing the pace at every opportunity. And you mentioned again on the broadcast that, he seems to be more confident coming off the bench, but with Caruso ailing, he may start in the rematch against the Heat. What is it about Ayo's game that really seems to trigger his big nights?
Well, Ayo's a prideful kid. He had the Tony Snell line, zeros across the board in the previous game. And I know he took a lot of pride in that. He knows he's better than that. He knows he's better than, he can get 5 rebounds. He can get 3 or 4 assists. He's had zeros across the board, and that's not a typical Ayo Dosunmu game. So you knew that he was going to come out and play better. When he came out with that second group, you could just tell his confidence is super high. He knows he's one of the primary scorers in that second group. And we've said this about Ayo from the very get-go. When he plays up-tempo, he's up in the break, he's, driving the basketball, you're going to have a hard time stopping him. And now he's hitting his threes, which makes him even more harder to guard. But I thought last night, he complimented Coby very, very well. Both those guys last night, Mark, I think it was 50 points, 16 or 17 rebounds between them. They had 12 assists and 0 turnovers. That's the most important thing. 0 turnovers from your point guard position. That was impressive.
Yeah, that's remarkable to have two young guys go through a 48-minute game and not turn the ball over once. Bulls had 4 players with 20 or more points. It's the second time they've done that in the last couple of weeks. They had 32 assists, which is almost becoming the norm in this hot streak. You know, it is a different style without Zach on the floor. And I know people are wondering, today's December 15th, the magical day when all these players suddenly become available for trades. Where do you think AK and Mark Eversley are at right now? They may be taking a look at this and going, let's see if we can't integrate Zach back into this mix. If he can play this style, he certainly has the tools to play this style.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're looking at all options. I think this little run the Bulls have been on is giving them a chance to look at and evaluate the team without Zach. You know, it's like, okay, what do we need? If we don't have Zach and we had to move him, you know, what direction do we go? What position players do we need to complement the players that we already have? It's obvious AK is on a win now situation. I've heard the press conference. They want to win now. They don't want to rebuild. So that's their mindset. You know, who knows? They may change it change it every day. Who knows? But right now, they believe that they can still win with the right pieces. And with the way the team is currently playing, you know, how could you argue with that? You know, I mean, we lose to Milwaukee by, a couple of points. Had that game, we should have won that game. You know, should have, could have, would have in horseshoes. But the point is, the Bulls were in that game up to the very end, having a chance to win it. And so that's really got to, kind of set you up and say, okay, if the Bulls are not in a hurry to trade Zach, let's just be honest. Okay, he's under contract for 3 or 4 more years. It's not a James Harden situation, Mark, where he's in a walk year. Okay, so DeMar's in a walk year, but Zach's not. So you're looking at a situation, if the Bulls can't get something that is productive for them and their organization, they could just say, hey, you know what? We'll just wait till the summer. We'll wait till the January deadline. They're not in a hurry to get rid of them, and then maybe at that time, Zach starts looking at this team and saying, hey, you know what? Like DeMar did. I give DeMar credit. DeMar sat over there, that one game he missed, and he sat over there and watched that team beat Milwaukee without him and Zach. And he saw the way they played. He has conformed his game and made some sacrifices in his game to get everyone involved. I mean, he's getting 10 assists, 11 assists, a night. He's moving the ball. And he gives the Bulls a true isolation guy when the shot clock's winding down, when you need a big shot at the end of games. You've got that guy, an ace in your sleeve. So he's conformed his game. The question would be, will Zach be able to do that if and when he comes back? Will he be willing to make the sacrifices? Will he be willing to change the way he plays? And it's not just on the offensive end. It's on the defensive end, too, because this team has been a much better defensive team over the last few weeks when he wasn't in the lineup.
Well, I know one of the things that concerns the Bulls organization is the level of fan interest. The last thing you want to have is fan apathy. And I guess Tim has got a special guest, voice of the people, talk about viewpoint on the Bulls. Tim, introduce your guest and bring him on in.
Bring in Jessie Rojo, who's going to tell us what his opinion is. And some people may not like it. But in the meantime, as he gets prepared here, we have a major concern on the Bulls with Torrey Craig.
What's that?
The rumors are that he's dating Kim Kardashian, which means his career is over.
I hadn't heard that one.
Oh, it came out today that Kim Kardashian and Torrey Craig are an item, and we know what happens then. It's over. All skills go in the toilet. Odell Beckham somehow survived. He took about a 2-year hiatus with his skills, but it looks like he's back on track again. Took some therapy, but he's back on the game.
Well, I'd like to say this, Tim, this is the second, disgruntled fan you brought out of the bar. Okay, so Are you in these bars frequently and pulling people out?
Well, it's kind of a statement of affairs right now. This is what we have in Chicagoland. A lot of disgruntled fans, and some are really serious. And you have to take the guys that can speak the game and say, okay, let's hear what you have to say. That's what this podcast is all about. We're a podcast. So we're a podcast of the people.
We're gonna hear.
Come on here, Jessie. Get on the mic here. Let's hear your opinion here. We want to hear from the people.
Oh my God, this dude is so crazy.
All right, Jessie.
Mark, you see, we get out of the office, we get out of the show. We're look what he's doing.
No, he was hanging outside on the street, but I'm like, hey, what do you know about the Bulls? And he went off. I'm like, all right, come on in. We got.
It's like, hey, Mark, it's like risky business.
Found me right outside the street at McDonald's. We had a few drinks over lunch, and he's like, who the heck is this homeless person? So he brought me over. I mean, thank you, Timmy.
That's right. That's what because we talk about the Bulls. So, Jessie, let's hear a little bit about what you think. I know you are a big fan of Stacey's and Mark's, except you have some opinions here, and I like strong opinions.
Ooh, you said you like strong opinions, so I'm going to give you some strong opinions. Before that, though, we got to give due where credit is due. Mr. Stacey King, you were one of, let's go ahead and be honest, you were the only one who believed in Coby White. I sure as heck did not. Timmy, I don't think you did.
I did
Mark,
not.
Did you believe?
I had to go with
Nobody
Stacey.
did. Now, Coby White, 5-2 over the last 7 games, averaging 26, 7, and 5 on 50 and 50 shooting a high amount of threes. Incredible.
Should be in the 3-point contest come the All-Star.
Should be. With that said, though, I got to drop the hot take. I say trade Coby White right now.
Oh, come on now.
Oh,
Kid's playing the best basketball of his career.
Jesse,
and so his value as his highest. His value, it is highest.
All right, here's where I got to shoot that down, Jesse.
Please.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from with that because his value is at its highest right now, and you probably get a lot for him. But you got to remember, Kobe's like 23 years old. If you're going into a rebuild situation, he's the perfect guy to rebuild around because of the fact that he's young. He would be on a team with a bunch of young 20, 21-year-old. He'd be the elder statesman at 23, kind of like how DeMar and Zach are with this current team. And that's if you're going in that direction. We don't know what direction the Bulls are going to go into, but there's no way in the world. I've been a Coby White fan from the very get-go. I've been saying all along, the keys to the car. You know, when Zoe went out, he was a logical choice. I mean, you have to live with his mistakes. And I thought they were a little nervous about that last year. It didn't let him cook. And I thought in the playing game he cooked, and then they took him out of the game, and then that Bulls ended up losing to Miami. So this year they committed to him. They gave him his money. And let me tell you this, the Bulls got lucky now because they got him on a very good deal considering how he's playing right now. If he would have bet on himself and said, you know, hey, I'm going to sign a 1-year deal and then I'm gonna put myself in the open market, woo, man, that'd have been disastrous for this team.
And now here's the thing though, Stacey. Correcto mundo, he is on an incredible deal, and that makes his value even higher though. And you said it yourself, though. This is a guy who can maybe take over for DeMar and Lavine in the current Bulls. But the current Bulls are just simply not good enough. Players like Lavine and DeMar are not good enough to be number 1 options. The Bulls had their best seasons in years, and it was an incredible season. As somebody who lives near Chicago, it was a great season, but they lost 5 games against the Bucks. They lost because a score-first guard who cannot defend and is even worse with White, a small guard, are simply not historically a good number 1 or even a number 2 or even a number 3 option. In the history of the NBA, there's been 2 players who have been a number 1 option who are small guards, Curry and Isaiah Thomas. And Coby White is neither of those 2. And so for me, just playing the smart game, I say trade him. And here's the thing. I want the Bulls to focus on their future and do it right this time because they focused on their future once in the past, 10 years now? And that was trading Jimmy Butler. They done messed up already once. Don't mess up again.
No, I got to stop you there. They didn't mess up. They did not mess up there. They ended up getting 2 All-Stars out of that trade. Okay, Jimmy, if you want to say who won that trade, you can't judge Jimmy's value in Miami. It's Jimmy's value with the other 2 teams that he was at. Minnesota and Philadelphia. Jimmy wasn't doing the things that he was doing in Miami. He's in a better situation in Miami where there's structure, there's control, the organization works together as one. There's a culture in Miami. So Jimmy would not be able to do the things that Jimmy's done in Minnesota where he, he's fighting his teammates, arguing with his teammates, but if you look at that trade, we got Lowry Marketing, we got
who we traded.
We got who we traded, but he wasn't an all-star, but he's an all-star now. You got Zach Lavine
now, but not with us.
ACL, but he should have been an all-star with us.
Should have, could have, would have.
You get Zach Lavine coming off an ACL tear. No one knows who Zach Lavine's going to be. No one knows how he's going to return after that ACL tear. He's an all-star.
Mr. Future 3rd option on the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, that's nice. Zach Lavine, a number 3 option, not a number 1 option. Bulls though.
you can't base it off that because it depends on each team has a different need. If he's our best player, okay, he's our number one guy, then organization has to pay him as a number one guy. If he's on our roster, number 3 guy, then you get paid as a number 3 guy. Now, if you put him on the Lakers, if you put him on Golden State, you put him on any playoff caliber team, Zach's probably a number 3 guy on most of those teams. You know, put him on Denver. Where's he at in Denver? If you say, oh, put Zach Lavine on Denver, you got Jokic, you got Murray, you got
he's having an all-time season.
So what I'm saying though, you put him on any of those teams that are playoff caliber teams in the playoffs, he's a number 3 option at best.
All right, so then, Stacey, let me ask you this. You're talking about team needs. What are the team needs for the Chicago Bulls right now? And let me be honest on where I'm looking at this. I'm not looking at trying to win because we have won and we have lost under Lavine and DeMar. Coby White, as good as he's been, again, 26, 7, and 5, is not better than DeMar or Lavine. So we're not going to get any better, especially because even if you add in Coby with Lavine, with DeMar, now what you got is 3 players who need the ball, and there's only 1 ball. And so I think we're looking at a first-round exit. I'd rather go ahead and tank this. And I think trading Coby is going to help with the tank, just like trading Zach would be, just like trading DeMar. And maybe we can, ship Nikola Vucevic over to the EuroLeague and get a copywriter in return. I don't know. Let's bring in that semi-pro trade. We might be able to get a copier in return. I don't know.
This is why I get into Twitter with arguments with fans for, because fans act like this is the NBA 2K. Okay, it's not like this. This is real life. Okay. It takes a long time to build a championship team. So, the Bulls won 6 championships, and you look the teams after that. It's been a long, hard road to get there. You get Derrick Rose in the draft after having 3 or 4 losing years. You have to, make a commitment. You're either going to rebuild or you're going to stay pat. If you look at the Central Division right now, we talked about this the other night. The Bulls in Milwaukee are 2 of the oldest teams in our division alone. Milwaukee's a championship aspiration team. They still got Giannis, you got Dame, you still got guys that can play for a championship there. We're not a championship team right now. We're not close to a championship team. Okay. Losing Lonzo Ball.
We're not even close to a team that wants to believe we're a championship team.
Ooh. Well, I don't know. That's a little bit difficult to put into here. Like I said, NBA is a tough business. It's a winning business. And it's a business that can, your team 1 minute can be the number 1 team. The next year, team can be the number 8 team. That's how it goes. One injury could set you back 3 years. Look at Lonzo Ball.
Amen. Amen.
If that kid is healthy right now, and
we're talking a different story, undeniably.
So that's why I tell people when they start talking about management and getting on management, they need to pull the reins back a little bit, because the management couldn't foresee that Lonzo Ball was going to hurt his knee and be out the whole season or be out 2 years.
But here's the thing, Stacey, even with Lonzo, and again, this was my favorite season of all time as somebody who lives near Chicago, we still lost in 5 against the Bucks, and we're not going to do any better.
Lonzo was out.
Yes, but we still, that's the highest seed we're going to get.
Jesse, you've had to say, we appreciate you coming by. Friday night, some of our crew guys got to go. Tim's got to go, so you got to go. So
we got it.
When you start out with trading Coby White,
I love it.
Credibility right away, my friend. But thanks for stopping by.
You're right, Mark.
Hopefully
I love
Tim
it.
got you a couple of cold beers, and we appreciate your viewpoint. That's
Thank you
Jesse,
so
the
much.
voice
You guys
of the
take
fan.
care now.
That was
Hey,
perfect.
Tim, tell the folks about how they can take care of their insurance needs with our guy, Jeff Vukovic.
All right. When it comes to insurance for your auto, home, and business, make sure you can contact the guy who treats you like a king.
There you go.
Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovic. You can reach him at jeffvuk.com or at 847-825-4783, as you see on the screen here. He's our buddy who will take care of you no matter what your insurance needs are, and always be treated like a prince. And Stacey,
you missed the cue.
Can you do this from where you're at?
Oh, I just woke up. It took all day to read that read. Jesus.
Oh, wow. Wow, really?
Oh, man.
Can you get a brighter light? Can you get a brighter light behind you right there?
Hey, don't worry about me, buddy. Don't worry about me. Nationwide is on your side. Don't you worry about me, Tim. You worry about yourself.
Oh, okay.
Talk more NBA after a short timeout. We'll talk about Draymond Green, some injuries in Cleveland, and a whole lot more. Keep it right here. More Gimme the Hot Sauce coming at you. Tell you what, the whole voice of the fan thing kind of fell flat. I mean, I appreciate everybody's opinion. Everybody's got the right to have their views on their favorite sports teams. But the last guy you would trade on this team right now is Coby White, a 23-year-old point guard and playing the best basketball of his career on an incredibly team-friendly contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, 23-year-old kid, and he's been in the league 5 years, and you're telling me you're going to trade him when you're, even if you're talking about rebuilding, he'd be the first piece that you had that you'd be excited about. You're talking about trading him. I'm like, oh, man, where was the gong? You know, you hit the gong, and then someone comes in and grabs Jessie off and takes him off. And Tim, too. You should bring Tim's ass off, too, for bringing people in here and didn't get the okay from the rest of us. Oh, Lord.
Oh, you wanted somebody to talk some trash? You got it.
Yeah.
You have to wait till we're both in Miami to do that. That was underhanded.
Wow, that was sneaky, Tim.
You have no idea what I'm planning.
Hey, see, Whispers. See, we can't trust you now. You lost all trust with me and Mark.
Oh,
you can no longer trust him.
No, this is building trust.
Oh, so
shit.
See, this is
Alessandro. Sorry to stop you there, Stacey. So I ran a poll on our YouTube, right, about to see if Jessie's take was, the best take possible, given on the show so far since. What's your other friend's name, Tim?
I think we're right now. This is what they call a mutiny.
All right. So the people say that Jessie's take wasn't the best. That they want to hear Tim's take. They want to hear Tim's take.
Terrible.
They want to hear my take on this.
They want to hear Tim's take. Can you guys believe that?
Nobody wants to hear Tim's take.
No, my take is don't get a Kardashian involved. Your career's over. Everyone knows that already.
Oh my God! You know what? You give your kid the keys to your car and you say, "I want you. I'm buying you a Hyundai." Then he goes out and steals your Ferrari and crashes it. That's him.
Let me tell you this.
He crashed tonight, Mark. He crashed a Ferrari tonight, Mark.
One date of Coby White with, let's say, Kylie Jenner. It doesn't even have to be a Kardashian. It can be a Jenner. The career is over. His shooting percentage will go to 18% at best.
Oh my God! This reminds me of the one guy in a band that wants to be a lead singer and can't sing. That's him.
Well, that's true. I've always been that guy. I've always wanted to sing.
He's the guy always want to be the lead singer but can't sing.
I can only write the songs that make the young girls cry.
He's trying to get up to the front and grab the mic and be like, "Oh, stop!" Oh my God!
Hey, it's been a really eventful week in the NBA. Let's get some of the other hot topics. Draymond Green was at it again. Said he was trying to pull away from Yusuf Nurkic, wheels and slugs him in the side of the head. He's on an indefinite suspension. Stacey, how long do you think that indefinite suspension may last?
He should probably get, honestly, because he's a triple repeat offender. It probably should be somewhere between 20 and 25 games because, if you're Adam Silver, you got to stop this because no one is checking this guy. No players are checking him. No players coming up to him and popping him in the face and making him stop. And as long as these guys, the people that he's doing it to, Mark, is guys he feels like, they're not going to do anything. He thinks it's soft. And he's like kind of punking guys. And until someone steps up and gives him a two-piece and gets suspended alongside him, it's going to continue. So I think enough's enough. The guy, Golden State's not playing good basketball right now. You got Klay Thompson kind of down in the dumps because they're not offering him a max contract. But if you're Golden State and you see the way Klay's playing right now, you'd be a fool to give him a max contract. So Klay's got to step his game up a little bit, start playing like the old Klay, show that he's worth that money, and maybe they'll take care of him. But right now they're the Chris Paul experiment's not really working right now, and so they're struggling.
I think McMahon
they've got a
wants
losing record right now. You saw the reaction of the bench with Golden State after he slugged Nurkic. They just looked at each other like, can you believe this shit is happening again? And Steve Kerr didn't even want to talk about it. I mean, feel bad for Steve Kerr and Steph Curry to have to answer for this guy time after time. I mean, it's really dragged the organization down to the point where I think that they may not even make the playoffs this year as messed up as they are right now.
Well, Mark, when they had Kevin Durant and they had to make a choice between Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, you should have took Kevin Durant and moved on Draymond Green. Because at the end, Kevin Durant is still very, very highly productive player right now. You probably to win another 1 or 2 more championships with him. You know, can you win a championship with Draymond Green? Yeah, well, it depends on the health of all the other players and what they got, you know, what the players around them. But it's almost like one of those things when you're a player, you get too old and you don't move the way you used to move. So now you got to try to do something to junk the game up a little bit to keep the speed to where you are. You know, because Draymond Green is not a post-up guy to begin with. And to act like he's in the post and I want the ball like he's an isolation guy, you know, I'm surprised Nurkic was even guarding him, to even be that close to get his face. And what Nurkic probably should have done, being a big guy, you know, walked up to him and slugged him. And then we've just been fighting. You know, you don't do things like that, man. That was you could clearly see it was obvious that he did that on purpose. I mean, you know, he turned around and looked at him and slapped him, you know, so, but again, it's like he knows who he can get away with that with. And, you know, I think I heard Charles Barkley say something like, they would have been fighting. You know, you hit me like that, and all of us would have. I would have been fighting with it. You slapped me like that, we're going to be fighting. But it almost seems like he knows the guys that he can get away with it. Look at, I mean, Jordan Poole, you know, punching Jordan Poole in the face, you know, stomping on Sabonis on the ground. You know, look at all the offensive, the grabbing Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert wouldn't hurt a butterfly, okay? He knows that. So why are you choking? You're choking him knowing that Rudy Gobert wasn't going to do anything about it. Now, why don't you choke Anthony Edwards? Because Anthony Edwards is going to do something about it. You know, choke someone else on there. I mean, Cat Towns would have done something. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, he didn't help Rudy, so I don't know if he would have done anything. So, but he just knows it's time for the league to step in and say enough's enough, and set an example. Because if you continue to let him do these kind of things, there's going to be another guy like a Draymond Green come around and do the same things and say, yeah, y'all let Draymond get away with it.
Hey, speaking of suspensions, Ja Morant is going to return on Tuesday after his 25-game suspension is lapsed. He met with Adam Silver. Adam Silver said that he met all the requirements for his return. And, you know, Memphis is just completely falling apart. Dylan Brooks, who everybody was criticizing, has gone to Houston. They're playing great basketball down there. And Memphis is falling apart. Morant met the media today and said that he's gone through some dark times during the suspension. You know, Stacey, basketball has always been a big part of your life. You take that away from an athlete, especially a young guy in his prime like Ja Morant. That has to hurt being away from the game for that long.
Yeah, and maybe this will teach you a lesson. You know, this is, you know, when you get the thing that you love, the thing that provides you a living, it takes care of your family, your kids, and it gets taken away from you, and then you can find yourself, you know, working a 9 to 5, you know, being out the league, begging to get back in, going to go play in Europe, going to play in, you know, the Taiwan league, the China league, trying to get back to the NBA. You know, maybe this is a lesson to him now. You know, surround yourself with positive people because he's an enormous talent. He's a superstar in this league, and he's a young superstar. And so surround yourself with positive people. His father, I think, has to get more involved instead of being his buddy, to more so be a mentor to him. Like, this is not how you were raised. This is not how we want you to carry yourself. You know, surround yourself with good people, Mark. If you do that, and now this 30-game suspension or however many games it was, maybe he's learned, like, hey, I've been away from the game too much. I know I really miss it. I'm not going to do this ever again.
Hey, what did you make of what was going on in Milwaukee the other night? Giannis was kept in the game when they already had it in hand so he could get the franchise scoring record. And then he got all upset when the Pacers took the ball to give to Oscar Tshiebwe, who scored his first NBA points. Giannis goes running after players in the tunnel. Speaking of WWE, that's what it looked like. I mean, that was insane.
Well, I mean, there was a play earlier in that game where I think Neesmith threw Giannis to the floor, and then Giannis's brother Thanos was like, I've never seen anybody, Mark, hold himself back. That's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like, you know, like, so you're charging somebody, like people grabbing you. Come on, no, come back.
Come grab
He was
me.
holding himself back. I never seen anybody hold himself back. Because if he really wanted to get out there for his brother, he would have got out there. There'd have been nobody in that arena holding back. So I thought that was funny. And then the situation of being, you know, trying to get the record and trying to get the scoring record, you know, that's a touchy situation because, you know, it looks like you're rubbing the face rubbing it in the face of Indiana Pacers. But then again, Indiana Pacers are scoring 140, 150. They played them in the play-in tournament, and then, you know, Halliburton was mocking, you know, Dame time. So they didn't forget about that. They didn't forget about that. So if you're going to do stuff like that and mock Milwaukee, then you can expect payback when you see them in the regular season. And that's exactly what it was. And that's exactly why I think they tried to run the score up. Giannis was going to go get his 60, and, they were going to get the game ball. And Indiana knew that's what they were going to do and refused to give it to him, because nobody gives you an NBA ball on your first NBA point. No one's done. I've never heard.
Yeah.
That was just obvious that they were trying to stick it to the Bucks and not give Giannis that ball. But it's a rivalry now. It's a rivalry now.
Yeah, it sure is.
If it won one, 2 weeks ago, it's one now. So every time these two teams play, it's going to be chippy.
Like you mentioned, Indiana sent the Bucks packing from Vegas. They were one of the 4 teams left, and Milwaukee was favored. Indiana knocked them off, took $500,000 out of their pockets. So, they remember that stuff. Yep. How about the Lakers going to raise a banner for the in-season championship? What do you think about that? A picture tells 1,000 words.
America. Okay, listen.
What would Coby do?
You won the in-season tournament. Awesome. It was a great tournament. The participation by everybody was awesome. But it's still an in-season tournament. It means absolutely nothing. You don't get any rings unless you make your own rings. You don't get a banner unless you make your own banner. There's no like Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of it. It means nothing. It means nothing. It means you're the best team early in the season. You won the tournament. Okay. Now, to be going out, the champagne, putting the goggles on and all that. I mean, I thought that was excessive. I thought it was corny, to be honest with you. I felt like they could have been better off saying, hey, look, hey, we celebrate this win tonight. We should be happy. Let's go out and celebrate, blah, blah, blah. Let's focus on the regular season. Let's get our guys healthy. Let's celebrate it when it really counts at the end of the season. That's our goal.
So you have to call InstaSigns to get that done?
What's that?
InstaSigns. So you get the vinyl banner to hang up? I mean, what do you call
it? Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. It looked really kind of cornballish, but and for them to hang a banner up about an in-season tournament, okay, I remember New York Knicks hung up a banner for winning a summer league or something, so it's like, or the G League title or whatever. Like, those don't mean anything. Those are just, you can put that in your practice facility and say, hey, we won the in-season tournament, but again, I thought it was kind of cornballish, Mark. And, let's see where they are at the end of the year. Now you hear all these trades coming up with, trying to trade certain players for Zach. Let's see how that ends up at the end of the season. Yeah,
LeBron James, that's something else to talk about in the barbershop. So, in his
show. I got one more title than Michael. I got one more title. Yeah, that's right. If I win one more, I'll have more championships than Michael. I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, Michael's never won the in-season tournament because they didn't have it.
They didn't have it. And Michael probably wouldn't have played in one, because they would have went to the Players Association and said, hey, we won the in-season tournament. The players would have been said, hell no, we ain't doing that. We just came back from the Olympics. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing it. Nope.
Last NBA topic I want to get with you on, Stacey. The Bulls play the Cavaliers next Saturday in Chicago. You see what happened injury-wise? Darius Garland, who was on the show with us previously, ran into Kristaps Porzingis, fractured his jaw. He's out for 4 weeks. And Evan Mobley is going to have surgery on his knee. He's out 8 to 10 weeks. So 2 of their best players are out. That's going to really hurt Cleveland for a long time.
Well, they're currently sitting in the 9th spot in the standings. And without 2 of their best players, that you got to bet that's going to put them even further down. And they might be in a situation too, because Mark, you've heard, Donovan Mitchell's name being up in trades and stuff. They may be looking to do some movement that way as well, figuring that, they're not going to be able to keep him, sign him to a long-term deal, and so they may be looking to move him. Who knows? But, I mean, to lose Garland, one of the top young point guards in the league, is definitely going to hurt. And Mobley, who's a future defensive player of the NBA, it also hurts. So now you got to rely on Jared Allen, who fills in for Mobley during that time, who fills in for Garland.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. I mean, they had some additions. They brought in Max Strus as a shooter from the wing, and they thought that they could take a big step forward. They got knocked out in the first round by the Knicks last year, and tough times for the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to talk a little football after the break, but first, it's the holidays, and a perfect gift would be a multi-pack of Stacey King's hot sauce. So let's bring in Christopher Walker to tell the folks how they can get it.
Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate the introduction. And this time of year is always my favorite. I wrap in gifts and put them under the tree. And as everyone says, the best way to warm up your heart and your feelings is with some hot sauce. So grab some at GimmeTheHotSauce.com. That's GIMME. And put some on your Yule log and spice up your evenings during these holidays when you have some nights off with your favorite lady. As you know, I hang out with multiple ladies every night. It's kind of what I do during the holidays, even in my old age. That's right.
You must be running up quite a bill on Viagra, Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've moved on to Cialis, and because I like the 4-hour boners, but that's another story.
Just like whispers.
Oh my
There you
God.
go. And so Whispers is going to be like the bad elf in the closet having to package up all these sauce bottles, right?
Yeah.
That's true. I gave him a beat down the other day, and I said, you're not packaging these properly. There's been a couple of broken bottles, and some customers unhappy, so we replace them with 2. That's the bonus that you get. If anything shows up damaged, we'll
What, are they got to
double
send
up
back the
order.
broken glass? What's going on?
No, just a picture. Just a picture. I take the picture, I take it as evidence, and I submit it to UPS. They don't do anything
A new
about
detective
it.
series, Chris. You going to have a new series with that?
Yeah,
Investigating fraud?
yeah, it's called Sauce IS. That's
Oh my
right.
God.
All right, time to move on, Chris. Happy holidays.
Oh, thank
We'll
you.
see you after Christmas, all right?
Thanks, Mark. I'm going to go to the Bahamas for a little bit and enjoy myself.
Christopher Walken, everybody. We come back, a little Bears talk, and what we're watching as the holidays draw near. Keep it here for Give Me the Hot Sauce. We are back on Give Me the Hot Sauce. We can't let a show go by without a little football talk. Our guy Mark Grody not with us this week as he gets ready for the big game in Cleveland, Bears, Browns. And Stacey, all of a sudden, Bears have won 2 in a row. The defense has been dominant with Matt Eberflus calling the plays. And the offense showing some signs, a little bit more consistency. Fields was good in the win over Detroit last weekend. What do you think about this team? It looks like they're putting it together to the point where, you know, the playoffs are probably out of reach, but they're very competitive right now.
Yeah, they're playing solid football on both sides of the ball. You know, I'm interested in seeing Justin Fields finish out the season strong because I think right now he's making a strong case, and a lot of people on the outside believe he's a franchise quarterback, and that the Bears would be better off using, you know, one of their picks, move down and try to get what they actually really need, like linemen, defensive end, and then pick up, you know, Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State to go along with DJ Moore, who's proven to be one of the dynamic wide receivers this year with Justin Fields. So hopefully they don't make that mistake and decide to go with Caleb Williams or the kid May from North Carolina. I just think, you know, I like Caleb Williams. I like his dynamic ability, but I've seen what I've seen in college football the last year with him is when the pressure's on and he's got to play against really good defenses, he's kind of struggled. You know, he's kind of struggled, which probably cost him the Heisman Trophy. And not to mention USC's terrible freaking defense, the worst defense in college football. I mean, you score 40 and you lose 42 to 40. Doesn't make any sense. The May kid, I just don't know, man. I just see another Trubisky. You don't see enough of him. You don't know. Yeah. You haven't seen enough of him to really get a good gauge of how good he is. You remember Trubisky only played like 1 year at North Carolina. Yeah. We're like, oh, he's got this great arm. He's this and that and this and that. But I might want, if I'm the Bears, I might stay away from that because you've already been down that road once. Okay. How about get the kid? How about get Fields a better offensive coordinator that fits his style of play? How about design an offense that makes him who he is, a dual threat, and go with that, you know? And so if they do that and they find someone who can do it. Now, Eberflus has done great with the defense. Okay. Let's be honest. Okay. He's done great with the defense, bringing Sweat on, being able to trade. Ryan Poles trading for Sweat has really been big. Ryan Poles has made some good moves to strengthen the Bears through trades and acquisitions. And so that part of the defense is, I think, is set. I think they can get some more pieces, another edge rusher to go along with Sweat. So I think defense is set. I think if you focus on offense, get you a better offensive coordinator, Eberflus still be your coach, let him control the defense, and you go get a guy like Frank Wright, you know, who's a very good coach with quarterbacks that can run, that can get out the pocket, and he'd be a good guy. The offensive coordinator, Bieniemy in Washington, if you can get him out of his deal, he's Andy Reid's number one play caller in Kansas City. And you look at Kansas City now, when he's gone, Kansas City's offense does not look as dynamic. It doesn't look as versatile as it's been in the last 3 or 4 years when they were one of the top teams in the NFL.
Well, Belichick is moving.
It's interesting. Yeah, you don't want him. Game's passing by.
Come on, guys. You got to make some comments on that.
One of the guys who covers the Bears regularly had an interesting article this week. He said that he interviewed 7 general managers, and all 7 said that they would draft Caleb Williams and trade Fields. Now, I know that these general managers kind of hang together, but I think what they look at is what the money would be to re-sign Justin Fields to a long-term extension. They don't feel like he's worth it. They feel like having a rookie quarterback on a value contract could allow the Bears to really build a strong team around him. I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's what talk in the industry is.
Well, I mean, if you're basing it off that, I mean, I think that's being, narrow-minded, because what if Justin Fields was a superstar quarterback? You'd have to pay him. What if his numbers were jumping off the chart? You have to consider also, Mark, that this is a kid who hasn't, had different offensive coordinators, different coaches, different playbooks. Okay, he's never been in any kind of stable situation. So how about giving him some stability? Let's see what he can do. Sign him to a 1-year deal. What do you call it? Franchise him for a year. Let's see what he can do in a stable situation. Go get a better offensive coordinator that can work and put a playbook that suits him, and then let's see what he can do. Now, if after that 1 year doesn't do well, then you say, okay, you know what? We're going a different direction. Yeah, you might miss on Caleb Williams, but then there's other quarterbacks coming up the next year. They're going to be just as good.
Hey, Whispers, if you want to talk about Belichick, give our buddy John Walsh a call. He'll talk in hours about it.
That's true. He'd be a big fan. But, when you look at this, you got the 1-year deal that you can extend Fields on. But at the same time, if you draft, let's say, a number 1 guy, whether it's Drake May or Williams, you can still negotiate after the fact. Let's say both these guys proved out to be pretty good next year. You don't lose that trade value. So there is that option as well. And I think being the fact that they failed so many times on not drafting that franchise quarterback, they're probably going to be in that position.
Yeah, but you can't have Fields or Caleb Williams sitting on the bench. That ain't going to work.
No. I'm saying you say we're sitting them behind them, and you're going to have opportunities. That's my point. If you have a Caleb Williams who doesn't play at all because Fields shows to be this superstar player, next year you still got this guy that no one has seen, and they still think he's an ace. So
your take is as bad as your buddy who came on earlier talking about trading Coby White. Come on, wake up, Whispers.
Don't I bring him back again? Oh my God!
The problem.
Hey, could end up looking like the Cubs right now. Look at what they've done in the past week, missing every deal in free agency right now.
Listen, the problem with Fields is that, one, you got an offensive coordinator who gets very conservative. He doesn't let the kid throw the ball down the field. When we've seen when he's thrown down the field, he's accurate. He hits DJ Moore that shot last week. That was a rock.
They started going vertical in the past couple of weeks, definitely.
Yes. Yeah. You should have been doing that all year.
Totally, 100%.
Take the playbook, scrap the playbook and say, hey, like Willie Beeman on the movie any given Sunday. Yeah. Just get rid of the playbook. Let him be Willie Beeman. Let him go out there and play to his strengths, and then let him sling the ball all around. Look at C.J. Stroud. Look at all these quarterbacks that they're allowing these guys to throw the ball vertical. Justin Fields out there throwing the ball like he's got like T-Rex arms, throwing little screen passes behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, come on, man. You got a tight end who can be great. Kyle Kmet can be great. Okay,
he's top 5 already.
Yeah, he could be, the same kind of tight end that with Travis Kelce that can stretch the defense out. He catches a big tight end. So he's got the middle of the field. You got a slant guy in Mooney. And then you got a vertical guy, DJ Moore, and then you go get another vertical guy in Marvin Harrison. How do you guard that? And your running back is solid. Foreman has been playing extraordinary, since he got in the lineup. So you got a running game. So now you got weapons around the kid. So how about get a kid a better offensive coordinator? Stop trying to make him be Aaron Rodgers, because he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not a pocket quarterback. C.J. Stroud may be a pocket quarterback because he doesn't run. He runs the 40 in 2 weeks. But Justin Fields is an athlete. 4.3, 4.2, 40, whatever he runs. Get him out in the open. Let him use his abilities and win games. Simple as that.
Yeah, you're right. But you hear what McCaskey said last week?
What?
We need to bring the stars here to Chicago to sell tickets. And he talked about Hurts, Mahomes, Allen, and DeVito. Is actually what we said at the end. And the entire staff laughed, and the
DeVito is about as good as Josh Dobbs. You know, Josh Dobbs had the 2 good games. Everybody was making him into a Hall of Famer. DeVito's the same story. He played at Illinois. He couldn't get anything done. Though.
Mark, he actually said this, though. This is not – I'm not making this up. McCaskey said this.
I get it.
NFL owners.
I know.
Which McCaskey?
The chief.
George.
How old is George?
99 and a half.
No. He's in his 50s, I would say.
No.
Okay. So, listen. Again, whoever does the Bears evaluation and is doing the Bears evaluation, who's evaluating the coach? Who's evaluating the coaches?
Kevin Warren.
Okay, well, Kevin Warren,
president.
we heard nothing from him. He has not made any kind of statements, or has he been in front of the camera? Is he talking? Like, what is the evaluation process on, Luke Getsy? Are you feel confident if, let's just say you draft Williams next year and Getsy's still your offensive coordinator, and then Justin Fields is in Atlanta balling out, throwing 300, 350 yards a game, and Williams is in the same position that Fields is in, struggling, he can't read defense, he can't do this, and Getsy still. What is everybody gonna say then? It's too late now to blame Justin Fields because he's not there. You ain't going to blame Williams because you're seeing the same thing that happened to Justin Fields with Williams or May. So it's got to be the offensive coordinator and the play calling.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what the Bears do, because the whole thing about that first pick, if you're not going to take Caleb Williams, you got to trade back and get like 3 number 1s, 2 number 2s. They could set this team up for a decade if they play their cards.
And that's the smart thing to do. The smart thing to do, because Justin Fields already been in this league, 4 years? 4 years?
Yeah. 3.
Okay. So he's been 3 years. How long has he been a starter? 2?
2.5.
2.5.
2.5 years. Okay. He's still developing as a young quarterback. He's shown you bright spots that he could be a good quarterback if you turn him loose. Okay. So now you take that first pick, you move down, you get all those things that you can get. You can get a thief's ransom for that number 1 pick. Okay. And now you go out and you start building your team the right way. And now you got a complete overhaul and you start filling in things where you're weak at. Offensive line, pass rushing, maybe another safety, because I don't think Eddie Jackson will be back next year.
Nope.
You start replacing things and start rebuilding for the future with a young quarterback. And then you go out and get a young wide receiver in Harrison Jr., throw him along with DJ Moore. Now you got 2 explosive receivers on the outside, Mooney in the slot, and then you got Komet. And you got a running back. You're set. And that offensive line that you pick up later in the draft, you got a whole new offensive line. It's just offensive coordinator. I'm telling you right now, Bears fans, it's not Justin Fields. I'm just telling you right now.
I'm with you.
It's not Justin Fields. It's the offensive play calling.
You got somebody to bring in off the street to argue about this, Whispers?
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hey, Bob. No, don't have anyone else.
Hey, let's wrap it up with one of our favorite topics. What are we watching? And before we get started, Stacey, I was sitting in the hotel room here and I saw a promo. A new season of Reacher has started.
Oh, started already?
I can't wait.
Yeah, we got to check that out. That's so much fun to watch.
Did you start yet, Mark?
Mark, you saw him?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it yet. I saw the first season, but I haven't seen the new season yet.
Okay, well, yeah, hey, that's a great show. That's hey, listen, America, if you haven't watched it, watch Reacher. Not the movie Reacher with Tom Cruise. The Reacher with the big dude is about 6'4".
Yeah,
knows his name though, but he's a good actor. He's a character.
He's
actor.
very good.
He was in the Fast and the Furious with The Rock. He's a big dude, man. Dude, but it's a great show. Great show.
Well, let me tell you my story on the airplane today. At the fly to join the team commercial was on the Friendly Skies of United. I was back in row 25. Great seats. So anyway, I'm on the aisle, and there was a young mom and her daughter. The mom sat in the middle seat, and the young daughter, who was probably 5-6 years old, was on the window. So as any good parent does, you make sure that you get cartoons for them to watch. You know, she was watching that. She was very well behaved. You know, she had her snacks and her drink, and she couldn't have been nicer. So, you know, the mom was trying to get her to take a nap because it's about a 3-hour flight, and that's a long time for a young person. But the little girl didn't want to sleep. She wanted to keep watching stuff. So finally, the little girl lies down on her lap. And so the mom, on her little in-flight thing on the seat back, was watching the Barbie movie, you know, which Tim, of course, is giving great reviews to.
Yeah,
I love it.
So then as soon as the daughter closed her eyes, you know, I didn't want to be that nosy, but I'm sitting right next to her, so it's impossible not to notice. She stops the Barbie movie, and she puts on this show on a cruise ship. I don't know what the title of the series is, but it was offered by United Airlines. It's about the scenes hanky panky going on with this crew on a luxury liner
Down under.
and so the title of the episode she selected, Stacey, was called "Dangerous Snatch." I ain't lying.
Sounds like Stacey's college days.
Hey,
the little girl sleeping in her lap, and she's going for this soft porn on this flight to Miami.
She got a toddler. She got a toddler in her lap, and she throwing on soft porn on the plane next to a total stranger.
Oh my goodness!
That's just eyeballing Mark.
Hey, Mark, you
in violation, except it wasn't a man.
Mark, you would have blown her mind if you just said, "Hey, that's a great episode."
I know
hey,
this.
You want to go back to the restroom, you know?
Oh my God, the Mile High Club.
I've seen this one.
Hey, I've been there too, baby. oh, keep a happy home, baby. Keep a happy home.
That's my contribution to what we're watching.
Batten down the
what do you got,
hatches.
Whispers? Yeah, what do you got, Whispers?
I've been watching a lot of weird stuff, and so I've been watched that The End of the World or Last of the World or Forget the World. What's it called? Well, Leave the World Behind. Yeah, that's very disturbing, but the whole world gets internet hacked all at once, and everything goes sideways. It's not good. And then I was watching the world.
Too.
What's that?
Probably could happen.
Oh, it can definitely happen, and it's very disturbing. A lot of good actors in it. You got some really good actors in this. A bunch of Oscar winners. So it was well done, but it's disturbing. So be prepared if you're going to watch that, and don't have your iPad out.
Netflix? Is it on?
It's a Netflix movie. Well done, very well done.
All right, Stacey, what do you got for the folks?
Thank you for that review, Tim.
Well, I don't want to give it away. I was about to say something, but I'd like be a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert! I'm not doing it.
Okay, so I'm watching Vikings right now, and my son got me watching it, and I started watching it a while ago, and I watched a little bit, and I stopped watching it. Kind of got away from it. Then I started rewatching it, and I'm like, man, this is pretty good. So I'm on season 2 right now.
Now you understand more about me.
Oh, Jesus. Listen, Tim, I can see you in that movie. I can see you in that movie. Now that I think about it, I can see you in that movie. I see you as a Viking.
Running down a hill with a skirt with no underpants on. Yeah, it's kind of how it goes.
I can see you. All red. Yeah, all red. Yeah, I can see you. Yeah. All hairy, like a hairy beast.
That's what happens. That's how we used to do it back in the day.
It's a good show. There's like five seasons, and it chronicles one Viking named Ragnarok, and he's not the king, he's not the main guy yet, but he ends up being the main guy, and he ends up having a bunch of kids, and the Vikings were always going out east when they would go raid. They would never go west because they didn't believe that there was land or anything out west. If you went west, that means you were going to fall off the edge of the earth and you would never come back. So they never raided west. They always raided east. So the king of this one clan, when every spring, he'd say, okay, we're going east. And then this Ragnarok guy said, you know what, I'm going to go west. I'm tired of going east. We do the same things all the time. It's time to go west and see what's out there. So he built his own ship because the other guy, the king, had his own ships. And so the king was upset that he was undermining him. And basically that's how the two of them started not liking each other, because he gave the village hope that there was something outside of the east. So he took a band of the best Vikings with him, and they went to England. They discovered England. And the first place they stopped at was a Montessori place. And they killed all the monks, stole all the things. They kept one monk and brought him back because he spoke the language. And so then they realized there's something out west. So that's where it takes you season 1, 2, 3. They're starting to raid further and further west now instead of east. And they band all the Viking clans together because in the movie, in the show, Mark, every clan is its own different entity. It's like a different country. They're not all together. They fight each other all the time over land and property. So each clan is totally different. So this Ragnarok guy unites all the Viking clans. And then they end up fighting England. It is a pretty good show. They end up fighting England. And it's a good show. Check it out.
Yeah, when you were talking about it, was following one Viking. I thought you were going to say Fran Tarkenton. But you went to the Ragnarok.
Hey, I saw Fran Tarkenton's documentary. He's a pretty interesting dude.
He was a hell of a player. He was like in the top 5 in passing yards until the modern era came. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, man, and he's a successful businessman too.
Yeah. You know, my daughter was home for the weekend. There's always a certain number of Christmas shows that we watch. One of them is called A Muppet Christmas Carol. Kane is unbelievable playing Ebenezer Scrooge. If you got kids at home, you want to play something new for them, I should probably tell that lady on the plane. A Christmas Carol. A Muppet Christmas Carol. That's what you should show your daughter.
Not the snacks.
Stay away from those. Yeah, stay away from the dangerous snacks.
Wow, that's quite a comparison.
That's a Christmas story right there, Stacey. You could make a movie about that.
Muppet Christmas or Dangerous Snatch. That's a tough choice.
Well, Marcus, get ready to do another Bulls game, baby.
That's right, baby.
All right, guys.
Golden Pipes got a big game tomorrow night.
You guys go crush it. I'll be watching.
That sounds good, Whispers. And Stacey, tell the folks how they can get a limousine to their holiday events.
Oh, well, you got to go to WindyCityLimos.com. And you can definitely ask for Mike Amaroff. Mike's been a little bit under the weather lately. So I've had some different drivers. Hopefully he'll be getting better soon. Mike, if you're here and I know you watch the show, you're a loyal listener. We wish you quick healing and get back to work. I need you.
Mike, get well.
Tim, give him the phone number.
WindyCityLimos.com or call 847-916-9300 for Windy City Limousines.
All right. We want to thank everybody for putting up with our nonsense. Stacey and I in Miami, Whispers back in the Palatine studio. Want to thank Dee and Cisco for holding on to Ford as well. And the crazy guy with the Coby White trade, you can tell his story walking. So that's going to do it for this week's show.
Yeah, that dude's off his rocker.
I forgot to tell America. You know, here we are on the schedule. We circled these games here in Miami. We thought we were going to get 80-degree temperature, sun, nice breeze. We got nothing but rain.
What is the temperature down there?
It was probably like 70, but it's like rain all day.
It's been
raining.
Yeah, the weather's crappy.
55 and sunny here. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, tremendous for late.
If you would have told me, Mark, that Miami would be, rainy and gloomy in December, I would have said no, absolutely not. I'd bet the house that it wouldn't have been. It's rained since we got here on Wednesday, and it's been raining ever since.
Hey, you guys aren't here, but Cisco, as usual, is sporting the pink shorts with his hairy legs, a couple of spiders, and some mosquitoes stuck in the hair because he hasn't shaved them yet. But he's all good. He's warm because he's kind of like a Yeti out here in Chicago. But that's okay.
It is why it's a toxic environment.
It's very toxic. That's right. That's why they love it.
Verbal abuse. They can bring you up on charges, Tim.
They're all about the acidity here in the environment. Is that right, Cisco?
Get out of here.
Get on that mic.
Just any like Whispers.
Oh, there we go. Was that you, Cisco? What? All right, guys. Great to see you. Have fun down there in Miami. And don't get carried away.
Stop picking up stray cats.
Back in the studio next week for our pre-Christmas show. Stacey, what's time to get out of here?
All right. Bulls Nation, we'll see you tomorrow. Big game tomorrow. Bulls go for 2 in a row here in Miami. Me and Mark will be calling the game. So remember, I didn't get to say beep, beep, drive home safely last night. We were so excited. Beep, beep, drive home safely, and good night.
Can go upstairs. Woo! Let me step back and kiss myself. MVP time. Windy City Assassin does it again.